goddesses. How are you? I am Polkis, your life coach, and I'm very, very happy to be here. We are live. We are live, and I'm over here in my cinema room, the movie room, because I have my twiners downstairs. They're amazing. They're a whole team. I really love them. So I'm like, let me go upstairs and take this advantage of this time and come live. Girls, I have you a little abandoned. and doing the lives, but I've been trying to put more of the recorded content. But here I am, we're doing a live today, and I am very, very happy. And ladies, the topic of today, it's something that I really wanted to do live because when I do it live, I feel like I can keep going and talking more. So today we're going to be talking about the top habits of high achieving women. And I'm going to be sharing some of the habits that are not like your common habits. Like, like we know we have to eat good. We all know we have to exercise. We all know how we have to sleep and all of that. Yes, those are actually really important. And I can go the whole life talking about like how health and sleeping good and eating good is essential for your being. Yes, I totally agree with that. But today, intentionally, I want to focus more a little bit on other type of habits that are not discussed or commonly discussed when we talk about habits. So when we the word habit, we think about waking up early, eating good, working out, meditating, reading, right? Like these like habits, self-care and stuff. Yes, they're essential. Yes, they're necessary. Yes, have high achieving women should have them, and the ones that are high achieving, we all actually practice and embody those habits. And today I want to share some of the habits that are past that. Like once you have all of those nailed down, then you can start acquiring new other habits that also make you like a high achieving woman. So if you're in the journey of self-development, personal growth, you're trying to get your routine and you're waking up early, your sleep, yes, I see you. Good job. You're doing a great job. I see you. I'm here with you. And also it's a never ending story. Like even if you are the more dedicated person, still you're going to like maybe have a bad night's sleep if you have kids, especially if you did not if you didn't eat good on that trip. Then there is always, it's like a work in progress. So these habits are some of the things that you can start focusing on now that you are past that level of like, hey, I know what I eat. Hey, I know what my body operates good, with this type of food or with certain foods. And yes, I got a workout routine. I pay personal trainer. Yes, okay. Now what? What's next? What can I keep learning? How can I keep growing? Right? So I'm gonna start past the obvious things that I mentioned. I want to start with one that I want to quickly, briefly mention because it's essential too. It's healing past traumas. Ladies, I have said this many times. I'm sure if you listen to development, self-development books, personal growth books, and inner work content, then you know that the subconscious is the one that is running your life, is the one that is actually designing the reality that you currently have. So when you want to see how someone really thinks and how they are inside, like healed, then you have to look at their surroundings, not just the physical surroundings, but how are they at peace with themselves? Are they holding any grudge towards something else? When you meet them, all they talk is like gossip or past trauma or past events that hurt them, or like talking about people that hurt them, or just like nothing exciting, like they're just there. Then you know that their exterior is a representation of the inside. So what's inside is what's creating our reality. Also, how are we with our relationships, not just like married, but also with our kids, with our in-laws, with if they're giving back. So there is a lot of aspects that you can check in someone's life, not by judging, just by noticing, and according to their surroundings, how their exterior world is, that's as a representation of their interior. So I always say healing, doing some type of therapy, doing whatever type of therapy that you want, conventional therapy, like if you want to do some hypnotherapy, there is many ways that you can go about these things, like always having a support system to like heal past trauma, because I feel like if you don't do it, that past trauma, that past story that happened years ago is the one that is running your life, is the one that is running the show right now. And we don't want to miss out on other things, or on or so keeping, the evolution, keep evolving, keep learning, keep going. And no, we have to like take care of that trauma, take care of the triggers. And so many times these trauma or triggers are the things that are blocking or next, like relationship, or the motherhood experience that you have, that you want to have, or the next business relationship, or the next business idea, or actually attracting your ideal husband. So all of these things we need to like get control of our life, get serious about it, so we can move on and start creating the true life that we came here to evolve, to learn, the lessons that we came here to learn and explore. So when you heal the past trauma, you're gonna start unfolding the best version of yourself. So I will say that number one. So of course, you will have to invest on money, time, energy, and money. All of these is investments, okay? Sleeping in early, you have to invest time in that, right? Like effort to go to bed early. Healing trauma, you have to like invest time, energy, and money to find like a good qualified therapist that you can open up, that you feel comfortable. And all of this is money, right? And many times when we are in survival mode, or we haven't like passed that survival phase, then there is no time or money, right? To go and invest in healing. So healing definitely requires not just money, but time. And even if you don't have money, there is many self help books written by therapists, and they give you like step by step on how to start doing it on your own. Hey, that's the best. That's, doing it on your own is best than doing nothing about it. So please take care of that. So that will be number one. Take care of that. Let's move on. Like that's an old program. That's an old story that we can repeat it ourselves. We keep leading with that old story. It's time to move on. Number two, continuous learning. This is something that, hey, I have to put it always, because continuous learning, dedicating time to learn new skills or deepen knowledge in their field, so you can stay competitive and informed. I always say you always grow, your business is going to grow as much as you grow. So of course, if you keep investing in yourself, the ROI, or the rate of investment, is going to be so big. To school, advanced education, like acquire like high income skills, that you can always leverage, or either other language or things that you can help people solve problems. Like always keep learning. An educated person, a person that learns and knows and embodies and practices all these skills, is a very qualified and desirable person. Like if I see someone that has the life that I want, and this person like embodies it, she knows, and I see that she keeps learning, and I see that she invests her time into growing herself and her business, then it's someone that I want to learn from, right? So you always want to make sure like these high achieving women, they're always learning, they're always investing in themselves, they're always staying competitive in their field of expertise, become the best in their niche, in what they do. And also, I will say, like, because when you say invest in yourself sounds very like broad, and it can be like, hey, I'm gonna buy cute outfits or some like self-care routines. Yes, all of every do whatever you gotta do. I'm talking about investing in ourselves that is gonna show. Okay. So when you pay, for example, a membership in the gym, but you don't go, then yes, you're paying the money, yes, you're investing in yourself, but you're not doing the work, so it's not showing. But if you pay, for example, a personal trainer that comes to your house, or it's meeting you at the gym or something, and they make you do the work, your investment is going to show, right? Same with knowledge. All the books that we learn, all the courses or content that we consume, that's information, yes. And you can say, hey, I bought all these books, how come I'm not rich yet? Well, you just consume the information, and what we want to do is to start embodying it, start believing it, start doing those mental shifts in like pyramid shifting, to where we actually start applying what they're teaching us and embodying those things, right? And changing our identity towards with the information that we're consuming. So it's not just about consuming information. It's not just about like learning. It's about applying, because when you apply it for yourself, you can actually teach it back. And it's better, you become a mentor, because it's better to teach it from your own experience than something you learn in some text or some paid course that you did. It's like, oh yeah, I heard about it. Yes, you heard about it. All of us heard about it, but who has done it? Like, who has done it that can teach me and that can share their experience with me, right? That's, I feel like in a world of information right now, especially with artificial intelligence and all of these new technologies that are tools that are helping us, and at the same time, it's like information is just information. Is being very like accessible. You can just type a sentence, you got like 10 paragraphs in a second. So information is very accessible, and because it's very accessible, it becomes cheap in a way. So if you want to be a high achieving woman, or maybe you already are and you always love to keep learning things, then make sure that you are actually compounding that information. Hey, I learned something. Let me try it. Like I learned this breathing technique. I'm actually applying it. This is something that I'm actually applying before bed. And I saw, I learned these breathing techniques. I'm not just gonna listen and like, okay, no, I'm applying it before bed. So I actually do it, and then I'm like, oh, this works. And then after 7 days, this is how I feel. And now, I can share it maybe with a client, right? Like after a couple of weeks, months, and I saw some results, then you can teach from your own experience. And that becomes easier because that information actually gets like engraved in your record, in your program, because it's like, I'll never forget how I felt when I went through college, or when I went through like this type of journey, or when I went through motherhood and being a first time mom and opening a business and being a real estate investor, or whatever it is that you do. People love listening to those stories, and they love seeing the before and after, like the success. And it's like, teach me how, instead of just selling information. So continuous learning, dedicate time to learn new skills, and not just new skills, but also like high paying skills, in a way, like all type of skills, but also make sure you allocate some time for high paying skills to deepen your knowledge. Next one, oh my God, effective time management. Yes. You have to master the time management to balance your work, life, self care efficiently, your marriage, if you're a wife, your also family time. Because when you're married and you have kids, there is not just like self care in me time. Yes, that's one time. Then there is your couple time, right? With your husband, dating, the strengthening your relationship, your marriage, and also like parenting, talking about not just romance, but like your family, how to run the household. Then there is family time, right? Like all of us do family activities, we eat together, we do kids things. And then there is me and my daughter time, bonding time, relationship time. And see, when all of these comes together, and then there is like businesses, and then there is your other passion business, and then there is nurturing your relationships with your friends and your family, and then the list starts going on and on. And if you want to have effective time management skills, then you really have to narrow down to what's really important. Because many times we feel that we don't have time to do everything, and we're always like running late to things and always saying yes to everything, overwhelmed because there is not enough time. Then maybe you haven't make a list or make a boundary around your priorities. So if you're married, with a baby, with babies, you own a business, and then you have a couple of friends, and let's say your family, and you're trying to work out and look cute, girl, dress up, do the makeup, do all of these things, and learn skills, then maybe you will have to start saying no to a lot of things. But remember that when you say yes to one thing, like they invite you to an event, let's say, or some retreat or an activity that you really like, is not about what you really want, but you feel compromised because it's family or friends or something like that. Remember, always remember that when you're saying yes to something, you're saying no to something else that maybe is more valuable to you. Maybe like because you're going to be away for 2 days. When you say yes, you're saying no to maybe dating your husband or spending quality time or like doing some self care, like catching up on the course that you bought or the book that you bought, or maybe just putting some time and effort into your business. So when you start looking at it that way, that every time you say yes to something, you're actually saying no to something at that same time, um, then you start choosing more carefully. So how I do it, I have very like limited things in what I put my energy and effort. So I have a list of four or five or four or five priorities in my life, right? And then I don't, if anything, I get invited or there is an event or there is something that doesn't align with any of those four things in my list, then I have to kindly say no, because those hours, it's not just like, for example, a birthday or an event or something like that. It's not just like is planning around it, and especially if you have young kids, you plan the naps around them, then you have to get ready, then you have to get the kids ready, then and your whole afternoon is gone, right? And when you get home, you have to bathe them, and then the whatever crumbs of energy is left, then you have to like either what, shower, and then you don't feel like working in your business or working out. So you have to become more intentional in learning effective time management, and this means you have to say no to a lot of things that maybe you really do not want to. And once you learn to say no, oh my god, you're going to free up so much time. So I have done these. I've been doing it. I'm an expert at saying no at things. I'm like, sorry, I can't. Don't answer the phone. Send me a WhatsApp note. I'll reply back when I get the chance, unless it's an emergency. So I have made these boundaries with a lot of love, especially with families, family members that just want to catch up, and I appreciate that. And of course, if I feel like, hey, I'm actually not doing any productive, let me pick up the call to talk chisme, because many of those calls are like basically, gossip or just like catching up. But if we can catch up, it's not right. Like I will reply when maybe I'm throwing the laundry, something like, or just finding some other time when I have put my priorities first. So you have to be a little bit like more intentional, and you might feel selfish and awkward at the beginning. And trust me, it's going to be okay. Nobody's going to die. People might get mad, but they're going to be okay. Okay, relax. If you want to be a high achieving woman, you cannot say yes to everything and everyone and please everyone but yourself. Okay, you first, your family first, your goals first, and then everything or everyone else. They got a life too, so they'll be okay. They will find someone else that they can rant or they can vent to. Don't worry. So that was effective time management. The other one that I really, really trying to also put some effort and time into, especially since I moved to Houston, is social connections. High achieving women have a network, and they have a network, they have a support system, they have high quality friendships, and you're just not going to find high quality like that. Those take time, because high achieving women, high achieving people are very picky with their time, are very selective on who they're going to give their time. Remember, we just talked about effective time management, and they're just not going to make befriend someone that doesn't value their time, that is only like doing random things, or their values don't align in their life. And at one point you have to bring something to like a relationship, right? Like with other girls, like maybe you can bond through motherhood, through business, like through relationship, is not a playground anymore where you're just gonna like, hey, wanna play? Yay, best friends forever. And we have a bracelet. Who had those bracelets? I have many of those bracelets that were like the half BFF, whatever, and I will cry if the bracelet got lost. But we're not at that level anymore of like cute friendships and just like best friend forever. High vibes, high energy, or you're just gonna waste my time because I am not available for that. And if you talk to other high achieving women, they have their agenda booked, and even if they have free time, that's like self care time. So make sure you go to those higher vibrations to resonate with those people. And this is through social connections. So I've been joining groups since I started here in Houston, joining groups of entrepreneurs, business owners. I actually met a lot of business owners, and now they're my friends. Like one just opened a business, and we were there for her grand opening. Other ladies that have like construction businesses, or they have like these like nail salon businesses or boutiques, and it's just nice to talk with this level of mindsets. But that's through social connections. I'm an introvert, honestly, talking to you guys, but at any moment I can like shut the camera down, right? Like I don't have to interact. But that's not going to get me anywhere. I actually have to become social. And even these, like public speaking, I will consider these public speaking because people watch on the other side. But this helps me for public speaking. And it is building that connection. I have made friends that found me on YouTube, and then we met in person, and a couple became clients. And it's like amazing, right? You have to nurture these social connections, and many of those connections are not gonna flourish into like beautiful friendships or partnerships, but you will never know unless you don't try, unless you don't put yourself out there, unless you don't start cultivating like a strong network of people or women that have the same intentions as you, that are in the same phase of life as you, that have the same personal or professional goals as you, or maybe relationship, right? For example, recently I had a very like weird experience or awkward, and I'm gonna share it. So I met this person, this girl, and we talked and we say, hey, we're gonna go meet for lunch, and we set a time and a day, and we check with each other the previous day, and we say yes, at this time we're gonna be there, the restaurant, blah blah blah. So for me, for example, right, like I made time, okay, this is going to be a connection that I'm going to create future relationship, future friendship, whatever is going to lead to. So I'm going to make time for it. So my daughter is 2, I'm married, we have businesses, and I also have to sleep and work out and get the baby ready. So with days in anticipation, I have to plan in my head like all of these things, woke up early so I can get ready before the baby gets there, did my like online course that I'm doing, read some books, and then get the breakfast ready. I made lunch before I went there so the baby can have her lunch, and I made lunch for my husband. So they have something to eat. I had to coordinate my husband's schedule so he can take care of the baby. The drive was 40 minutes. So see, all of these I have to make time for it. And I was there 20 minutes waiting, and I texted her. I'm like, hello, I'm short on time. Like, what's going on? And this person said that the Uber was 9 or 10 minutes away, 9 minutes away. And I'm like, you know what? That's 30 minutes total. I'm not gonna wait 30 minutes for someone that doesn't respect my time. I respect my time. I'm not expecting her to respect the time. But when you're an adult and you want to connect with these higher levels of relationships, you have to respect people's time. Okay, everybody. I don't care who you are. Everyone has things to do. Yes, everyone, right? This person too. Everyone has things to do, places to be, things that they want to do. And if it's an emergency, I get it. But if it's just like, oh, I'm just gonna be late because I was not aware or conscious of the time, that's a no for me. So I left, and I'm like, hey, you know what? I have to drive 40 minutes back, and then all my morning I had was preparing for this meeting or this. I'm like, I don't have time to waste like that, because I respect my time. It's boundaries around time. And it's actually, right, like trying to make social connections, and you're not going to win all the time unless you try. So this was a fail for me, but I learned, right? Like, like you just have to keep trying and not give up at the first time. Hey, maybe out of three no's, one is a yes, and you can become friends, or a business opportunity, or a future client, or you become their client, or there is this mom group, or whatever connection you're going to create out of this meeting is going to do that. But for first impressions, please, ladies, be respectful of your time and people's time, especially if this person has, more going on for themselves, or businesses, or a marriage, or kids, and you actually want to cultivate that relationship. First impressions matter. It's not all about the lipstick and the looks. It's about also how you show up. It's just like when you go to an interview, right? You want to make sure you go on time, looking good in your best presentation. Same when you meet for the first time on dates, right? I don't know. When I was dating, I will make sure, like everything was like coordinated, and not just looking polished, but also like in good energy, like my feminine energy, being respectful of the people, unless it's an emergency. I say, of course, things happen, and that's already a given. Like, I understand there is an emergency, but if you just want to be disrespectful with people, or be diva being late, then it's not acceptable. It's not nice, okay? So be aware of that when you start building your social connections, okay? And maybe if you're always late, then you can go back to the previous one and have more effective time management. So, another one, ladies, let me know what you're thinking if you're watching live. And if not, you can put some comments below and let me know. Also, giving the next one, it's resilience and grit. I love this one. I really, really love this one, because resilience and grit, I have my notes here, by the way. That's why I'm looking down. Resilience and grit is the ability to bounce back from setbacks, from obstacles, from the times that you fell down, and you're persistent, pursuing your goal, pursuing your vision, pursuing your dream, even when you face many challenges, when you face depression, when you face anything that gets in the way, that makes you sad. But if your goal, it's stronger than that, you have to have resilience and grit. So high achieving people, high achieving women, and people in general, they have resilience. Doors will close. I don't care. There is going to be a yes somehow. It's just a no, not yet. It's not a complete no. It's just a not yet, not here, somewhere else. And having grit, like the ability to bounce back. All of us, especially if you're a woman, we know we go through those days. There is days that are a little longer, especially with a toddler. As I say, my daughter is two, and there is days where she's a little more like needy of my attention, and maybe I had three for that day, and none of them happen. And in these situations, you have to be okay being interrupted, because I know my main job is being a mom, being there for her. I'm a stay-at-home mom on top of everything. That's my number one. And you have to be okay being interrupted. Resilience and grit in this situation will show us, you know what? We'll go with the flow, and we'll do what she needs. We'll have a good day. We'll make it a good day, and I will find possibility. What can I do in this situation? What's the most that can I do? At least 1%. What can I do? Okay, I will wait until she goes to bed. I'll give her a bath with her, give my unattended attention, and then put her down, and maybe just do one thing that you wanted to do for 30 minutes before you go to bed. Hey, that's already a win. You were present with the baby, you fed her, everybody ate. You might be tired, it's okay, but at least you did your 1%. It's always having that resilience of, you know what, is everything is not lost. And yes, you have to have a strong mindset for these, but it's nothing that you cannot train. The mind is just like a muscle, right? Like if you're working out your arms, your legs, with time, you are going to build up the strong mindset as well. It's just always finding possibility in situations that seem desperate, where we have our periods, when we feel down, yes, I always say take a rest, do whatever you got to do to recover, right? That's part of the self-care. And at the same time, like, always have this hope and resilience to bounce back. It's okay to fall. There is days of days. Sometimes the kids get sick and it lasts like a week, and then you're tired, and then you get sick because your defenses go down, and because you were taking care of the baby, then you got sick. So yes, there is setbacks in life. Yes, you have to be okay being interrupted, especially with kids, but it's okay. Find resilience, find the grit to never let go and to pursue the goals, because you know what, even if you plant 1%, the fruits are going to come later, okay? Like, they don't have to come next week, they don't have to come in 3 months. This is not TikTok anymore, where you just like, I want to plant a seed and then went viral tomorrow. And if it does, are you going to be able to handle it, right? When you need to first build that resilience and grit and plant little by little. So do as much as you can, don't force it. Just find possibilities to do at least 1% and have the ability to bounce back. I feel like when I set back, or life slows me down, or whatever slows me down, yes, I understand. I have some compassion. Yes, it's frustrating because I'm a human and I get frustrated as well. But I always remember, and I'm like, you know what? This is just one week. This is 3 days out of the year, one week out of the year. Just because I have this bad week doesn't mean I'm going to have a bad month, or I'm going to have a bad year because I'm overwhelmed right now. And when you find yourself in these setbacks, always try to reframe the thought of everything is lost, everything sucks, everything. No, you start going down. And whenever you focus on the bad, you go down the spiral faster. So always try to find some resilience and possibility. Possibility is a big lesson in my life. Like, in any situation, instead of saying, no, I can't, or I can't do that, just say, what can I do? In this situation, with the cards that I have, in the situation that I have right now, what can I do? And you will be surprised of the answers that you're going to find yourself, because that's resilience. What can I do? There is always something that you can do. My dad always say, there is no, ¿cómo decía? Lo decía siempre así como que no hay solución al menos que no esté muerto. O sea, para la muerte no hay solución. Once you're dead, there is nothing to do, okay? You're gone, that. He was savage. He's like, no hay solución ya, pero mientras estés vivo, ahí sí hay solución. If you're alive, then there is one solution. So always find that possibility, like that 1% of what can I do. So resilience and grit has been my favorite, of course, on top of everything. But this has always been like, you know what? Hope. I'm gonna have some resilience, some hope that everything is gonna be okay, that this is temporarily, that this is just a phase in my journey, in my life. 1 week out of the year, it's okay. And in any situation, because life happens, okay. If you open a business, there is gonna be hard days, and if you're a business owner, it's not easy. It's not easy. And if you're a mom, the first kid, there is going to be some challenges, but it's the mindset and how you decide to react to these situations. So resilience and grit, keep it in mind. Start being more aware of your situations where you can start applying this technique, or this going to pay you in gold. It's going to be do great things for you, because it's everything. And if we have a really good mindset to do things, then of course we can create the reality that we desire. So that one, and I'm gonna finish. I have so many. I think I'm gonna do another live with that. But mindfulness and emotional intelligence. High achieving women have emotional intelligence, because that's having self awareness. That's having emotional control. That's having um, self regulation of your emotions, and also emotional intelligence to be aware of other people's emotions and how they react, and just know how to navigate the situation better. You see, high achieving women are not being the drama queens, are not reacting and overreacting and snapping all trigger to any comment. And especially if you provide services to people or if you have a business, then there is clients that are not going to be satisfied because tú no eres una monita de oro para caerle bien a todos. You're not a Benjamin bill to make everybody smile, to make everybody happy. If I give you $100 bill, you're going to get happy somehow. So you're not Mr. Benjamin, so you're not everybody's cup of tea, okay? So there is things that either you or your business or something is going to happen in the transaction or in the way, and there might be someone that is not satisfied for whatever reason, and that's okay. You need to know how to self-regulate and how to show and present your brand, because at the end of the day is your personal brand, your service, and self-awareness, right? How I'm going to react, how I'm going to speak back, what tone I'm going to present. Am I going to be professional as I was and as nice as I was when I tried to solve this thing? And of course, there is boundaries. There is people that definitely cross the line. So in those things, you have to be also like, hey, we don't do that. We have the right to, neglect service to anyone if start behaving like that. But if there is anything else, you cannot just like snap in the first comment or things like that. So also being empathetic, when you learn to connect with people at deeper levels and have some empathy, then that makes you a more magnetic and like a better friend and a better person overall. Like people will love to open up to you if you just show some empathy, and also to being a good listener. This is something that I think like 98% of the people lack, and is one of the best communication skills, just active listening. Just listen. Many times probably sentence, and we're just like waiting to reply instead of listening to what the other person is actually saying, especially if they're being vulnerable or they're sharing something very important for them. And that's the thing, when you feel that you lack communication, is because you feel that you're not being heard, right? That nobody listens to you. And maybe this is also you're doing the same, so it's kind of like reciprocal. You don't listen, well, I don't listen neither because you don't listen, so it's a cycle. So try to practice more active listening, and you're gonna make people feel better. And it's okay if we don't steal the show all the time, like, oh, I'm just the one talking. Actually get to know people. They're people are interesting, okay? So give them the opportunity to share without interrupting. And it's hard though. It's hard. And that's where self-awareness comes, right? Because when you feel that you're interrupting, or the second time you interrupted, you're like, oh my God, I didn't finish, I didn't let them finish. Then you can just like, oh, let them talk and ask a following question about what they're talking. So it's self-awareness, self-regulation, being empathy, having social skills, communication skills, and having like consciousness about the other person too, and developing higher emotional intelligence, right? Like being aware of other people's emotions and reading the situation. If you know how to read situations, like if you feel the energy, feel the situations, and understand what motivates people. People have different backgrounds. We come from different countries, different languages, cultures, religions. So learning what moves people, that'll make you very, very like magnetic and just like a good person. And of course, how to communicate effectively. I feel that when you practice talking a lot, like when I do means and I teach and I coach, I definitely practice my more elevated vocabulary that I have acquired from listening a lot of books, um, listening a lot of like financial content through books. Like the audiobooks are the best, like because there are words in English, and I also listen them to in Spanish because I didn't go to college in Guatemala. I'm from Guatemala. I went to college here, so I didn't know some of the sophisticated words or big words in Spanish. So when I listen to them in Spanish in the books, I'm like, ya lo sé, ya lo aprendí, like I got one, another one. And then I make sure like I look the synonym on what does it mean, how can I apply it. It's just like expand your vocabulary, right? Like learn to communicate effectively, learn to listen, and lead with empathy, right? If you're a team leader, if you're a coach, a mentor, a business owner, and even just a friend, a mother, a wife, lead with empathy. We don't want to lead being the boss, right? Because boss energy is like they will hide things from you. Like boss energy has this like, well, nobody even looks at her. I don't want to tell her about my life. But a leader is someone that is next to you that will just show you the way. It's different type of energy. Although I love the boss, the word boss, it's like I'm a boss queen. um, but yes, ladies, so that was it for today. I am very happy about this training, and I think I need to do part two because I have a lot of lists and I didn't even finish these ones. And then I have another quality or traits for financial habits, and they're going to be really good too. So, thank you, ladies, for watching. And all the information about my life coaching packages, I'm going to leave them in the description box below, as well as the money series, which is the money podcast called Money Series Wealthy Woman. I have it in English and Spanish. They're also linked in the description below. And this month, well, actually, I'm going to leave it for a long time. I have 20% off on all coaching packages. I have 4 weeks, 6 weeks, and 12 weeks available if you use the code goddess20. I left the information below too, and if not, I'm going to put it in the comment, in the first comment. But there is options, ladies, there is options, and I'm actually excited. I'm going to be doing a live event here in Houston, and this is a networking event. I was invited to host a class for entrepreneurs and for business owners. So I'm going to be leading one of these seminars that they do have there, and I'm very excited. I'm planning to also like teach that training here, or maybe put it inside the money masterclass um, that I have online. I think I link it below. It's like a 2 hour, actually it was almost 3 hour masterclass that I did, and you can buy the recording. It was really fire. I explained everything, like the history of money, how to do some manifestation techniques, and to raise your vibration as well. And I explained the energies of money and how to balance them, and it was really good. So I think I'm gonna record that training and put it inside of this container for the students that are there. And if you want to join, then of course you can purchase it. It's called the Money Master Class. So thank you, ladies, so much for watching. I really love you, and I'm very happy that I'm back with these lives, because see, when the energy is there. When I do a live, the energy is there. I feel that I'm teaching. I don't need to edit. I feel the vibe. I feel the energy. It's amazing. Anyways, my goddesses, I love you, and I'll see you in the next video. Adios.